There we go. All right, you guys, my name is Jennifer Swavely. I am a triple diamond. I've been in this business for the past 6 years. I am so passionate and so in love with this business. And I know for me that the first 90 days of every year changed my business so much. And I wanted to put together this series to just kind of show you guys that, the beginning of the year, everybody's focused on New Year's resolutions. And the top two New Year's resolutions that people have is they want to lose weight and they want to make money, right? And so I love that this time of year, everybody is focused on that. And it's the perfect time to show people what we have our hands on, because we literally can help them out with both things. We can help them lose weight, become healthier, have more energy, while at the same time making money from getting those awesome results. So this is our time of year to shine, you guys, and I'm just so excited. So what I would love to hear from you guys, it's so awesome to see you guys in the chat. I want to know where you guys are from and what rank you currently are now and what you're shooting for over the next 90 days. So I just can't wait to see this. So a little bit about my story. I started 6 years ago, and I was one of those people that started this business actually in October, and I literally did nothing with the business because I let every fear, every doubt, all of those things get in the way of me moving forward in my business. But I kept watching the person that enrolled me, my friend Shauna. I kept seeing her become successful, earning fast start bonuses every single week. I kept seeing her, bring in this extra income and how excited she was, and she was losing weight. And I finally got to the point, you guys, I remember the date, it was January 27th. And I just got off a long day of working at the salon, and it was raining. It was just a horrible day. And I just remember getting home. There was no food in my fridge. I had worked 14 hours that day. I was exhausted. And I just remember getting into my tiny studio guest house that had no heat. It had no stove, had no closet. And I just remember looking around and thinking, enough is enough. I thought that I was going to be living in this studio for a short period of time, but then months turned into years and I was still in the exact same position. So maybe some of you guys can relate to that, where, you set these goals for yourself, or there's certain things in your life that you wanted to change, but then year after year, you're in the same position. And I just got to that point in my life where I decided enough was enough, and that I was just going to give this business a true shot. I didn't know what a 90-day run was. I didn't know that this time of year, it's crazy busy for this business or anything. All I knew was that I hated the position in my life where I was at, and I was willing to do anything that I possibly could to change my situation. And so, when I first started working this business, seriously, I was working at a salon, and my commute was about 45 minutes. So I was commuting about an hour and a half every single day. I was working 50 to 60 hours per week at the salon. And I was still struggling to get by. California is super expensive. And at the same time, my fiance was working, my now husband, he was working crazy amounts of hours. And we actually had opposite schedules. So we would maybe see each other one day out of the week or so. And so I wanted to change all of that, you guys. And I just want you to understand, if you take this business seriously and you just decide to commit, the next 90 days and go all in with this business, how much your life can truly change. To set aside the fears, set aside the doubts, set aside all the things that are holding you back from really exploding things in the business, and just go for it. What if there was no limitations? You put no limitations on yourself and what you are capable of, and you just went for it. And that's what I did, you guys. And by the end of March, I promoted to Diamond. I got a $10,000 bonus. And these 90 days pushed me into crazy momentum, because the following month, my husband promoted to Diamond, and we got another $10,000 bonus. And then that momentum pushed us into promoting to Double Diamond. So during that time, we earned a $35,000 in bonuses. We had put off planning our wedding for so long because we couldn't afford it. And one paycheck, you guys, ended up paying for our entire wedding in cash. We were able to move out of our tiny studio guest house into a bigger home. And it just changed so much. I got to see my husband again working, from working 50 to 60 hours a week to cutting down to only like 20 to 25 hours per week. So things can change so quickly if you take this 90-day run seriously. And so I'm just so excited to share with you all of these other different amazing stories from these ladies on here. They're so inspiring. Like, I was getting so pumped up listening to their stories. But one more thing that I want to share with you is to really, like, one tip that I'll give you for this 90-day run is to really just plan out your goals. I had never really done that before. There were things I wanted to change in my life, but I never really took the time to like write out my goals and figure out what I wanted. And once you put like that pen to paper and write down, I want to pay for my wedding in cash. I want to move out of my tiny studio guest house. I want to go to the grocery store and not worrying about overdrawing my bank account. Like, once you write those things down and you make them like real to you, and understand that so much can change in a short period of time if you just put in the work. That's what excited me. That's what excited me to keep going, even when I got told no, even when I was trying to promote to Diamond one month and I didn't hit it the month that I wanted. Instead of getting bummed out about missing a promotion or not, promoting when you think you're going to, just realize all that work that you just put in, you're one step closer than what you would have been if you didn't set those goals and didn't push as hard as you can. So anyways, I'm so stinking excited. You're going to hear from Emily first, which, you guys, when I was asking these girls, what they accomplished over a 90-day period of time, let me tell you right now, Emily got a over $12,000 raise, you guys. Like, that is insane. So I'm really pumped for you to hear Emily's story. So Emily, you should be able to unmute yourself right now.
Hello.
Hey girl, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good. So I was just blown away when you told me what your pay raise was in that amount of time. Like, that is just absolutely insane. So first of all, I would just love for you to share like your story. Like, why did you decide to start this business? And then like, what was going on in your life that made you want to push so hard to get the kind of results that you got? Because that's just insane.
Yeah, I know it is nuts. And my story is amazing, you guys. And it's funny. I love looking back. I love when the questions that you asked to help me to prepare for this. I was looking back, and I love looking back at timelines because I'm a nerd and it's kind of my thing. But I like seeing, I am not your typical, I should say, I am not your, I went from rags to riches in 90 days, you guys. I've been in this business for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in March. And it took me almost 18 months to go Ruby. And then it took me 3 years, almost 3 years to my anniversary date to go triple. So, I think it's actually chatter. I think one of somebody always talks about how, if you would, I guess the way our compensation plan is written, if you promote once every year, in 8 years, you'll be at the top of the compensation plan. Well, I plan on being ambassador a lot sooner than that. However, I just want you guys to know that it is okay. Your timeline is yours. Own it and lean into it and trust it. And I think the beauty of it is, and I'm going to give you the biggest secret of all, like, you guys want to know what it takes to get anywhere in this business, get ready. Like, lean in, turn on your cameras if you can, get ready. It's mindset. Period. I know there are a lot of triples and above. I'm looking at their faces right now, and I know every single one of them will tell you the same thing. We all run our businesses differently. to an extent, you know, the meat and potatoes of what we do doesn't change, but what it comes down to is your mindset. So I first was introduced to the business back in 2015. The original host of post, I always say, my friend's mom put up a post for her saying that her daughter had started her own health and wellness business. And so I sent her a friend request and I started watching her then. And it's funny because this is actually the fourth network marketing company I've been a part of. And I had sworn off direct sales. The only reason I'm here is because of God. He kept whispering to my heart, social media. He kept whispering, different things. And I looked into blogging and I was like, well, that's a lot of work. But like, I looked into all these different things, you guys. And he finally laid this in my lap. It's actually my pastor's wife that did the post for her daughter. And that's Katie Rogers. If you guys don't know who she is, she went presidential this last spring. She's amazing. And I watched her from pretty much the beginning. She'd only been in a couple weeks, and I watched her in the first 4 or 5 months of her business go from distributor to almost, I think she went triple that month. And I was like, okay, this girl is a full-time hairstylist. Her husband works. She's got the same amount of kids I do. Like, I needed to see someone in a similar, like, I guess, state of life to know that I could do this too. So I was a hairstylist. My husband was a third shifter. He worked for a county, a deputy for a county. He's also a combat veteran. So we had a lot of passing each other in the night, as you said. Like, he would leave, he would come home from work, I would leave for work. Like, it was a lot of just literally like, hi, and like, nice to meet you, I'm your wife, kind of a thing, and getting the kids off to bed. And what we thought was the American dream of having great jobs, great benefits, we quickly realized that what we wanted more than anything was freedom of time. Time was our greatest commodity. And we got married to do life together. You know, we had children to raise them together. And at the time we needed both of our incomes, because of debt, because of the lifestyle we wanted to live, whatever, we needed both of our incomes. So we wanted more. And we quickly realized that, you know, this business could do that for us if I just decided. So I started March in 2016, and that fall we actually had a major life happened to us. And I actually stepped away from the business from fall, about September of 2016 until February 2017. And that's when things kind of settled down in our life and we were able to kind of step back into the picture. And that's when I got on a Zoom, and I was still just a distributor, where there's nothing wrong with being a distributor. That's just where I was at in my business. I was a distributor, and I got on a Zoom with some girls that had just gone diamond, and they're like, okay, so here's what it takes. And they're like, it's mindset and self-development. So like, we go through the 6 list, right? I'm like, what's the magic message? How many people are you messaging a day? Are you cold messaging? Are you like, how are you growing your network? I wanted to know the hows. And it came down to mindset and self-development. And before I was like, okay, I'm going to check that off. I'm going to do a 5-minute video on YouTube. Okay, done. All right, now what's next? How many people do I need to message? Who do I need to get into? How do I like learn how to do my profile and make it look all spiffy, right? No, y'all. I'm telling you right now, I've seen people run to the top of this business with some of the not so beautiful posts. It's all about your mindset. Like, I'm looking through this chat and I'm loving what you guys are saying, but I'm seeing a lot of words like hope, striving, shooting for. Okay, you decide tonight that you are doing this, period. I don't care what your lifetime rank is. I don't care what your paid rank is. I don't care what that commission check looked like on the 8th. I want you to decide. I don't care if you've been in for 2.5 minutes. Decide where you want to be March 31st of 2020. And you write that down in an I am statement, period. There's no hoping, there's no striving, there's no shooting for. You decide it's happening and it will, period. You just get your mind ready to run and then do the work and then pray that God multiplies the work of your hands. That's all it took me to go triple. A lot of freaking prayer, a lot of work. But you guys, even at the end of that time, I just was like, Lord, multiply this by millions. I'm here. I'm accepting it. I'm ready for it. And I hit my knees, y'all. I prayed with my team sometimes till 2 a.m. A couple of my core leaders I grabbed and we prayed together. And we did the work. We didn't just send a couple messages and ask God to multiply. It's not like the fish just, y'all. We did the work, but I asked God to multiply. And I believed for it, and I just worked for it. And I'm telling you right now, if you haven't got the hints, whatever they're going to announce on the morning of the 27th, we're ready to run. We've getting our lists ready. We're doing the work now. They are giving us so much time to prepare for whatever's happening for this run. You just got to get your feet moving. That's it. I have other notes, but I feel like I got off track. So if you have anything else to say.
Oh my gosh, I have chills because that is 100% it. And I love how you said, I was looking for the how and how is this going to happen and everything, but it really is 100% your mindset. And I think, when I started, I had all these doubts and fears and all of this, like, how am I going to do this? I'm super shy, like all of these negative things in my mind, but it was like getting to that point where you just make a decision and you flip the switch, and it's not like how anymore. It's like, I made the decision. Like, you make the decision like that. There is no plan B. There is no out. There is no what if this doesn't happen. It's, I'm making this happen because I need to for my family. And that's when everything changes. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. So I want you to kind of talk a little bit about, I know you said you were praying with your team a lot and stuff, but I'm sure you encountered some sort of obstacles when you were pushing as hard as you guys were. So, like, what were some of the different things that kind of creeped up in your mind, and how did you just stay focused on where you were going and and I want you to talk a little bit about like what exactly happened during that time frame, because a $12,000 raise like that is just insane. So
heck yeah, it is. Yeah, me too. I was like, what? I remember like we were at dinner when I opened up that prelim, and I like literally was passed out. It's fine. It was really classy. But I think the biggest thing that we actually did a challenge group during that time. You guys, not only did that happen, that 90-day run, but it was almost practical with a brand new chart. I'll be completely transparent in that. I had some core people that were deep down in my legs, and we just pretty much rebuilt between January and March of that year, and we just ran hard. We did a challenge group, to be honest. We just asked each other, like, we put it out there with my leaders. I'm like, you guys ready to commit to this? And we just did a challenge group because we had such a big influx of new people. We kind of treated it as like a training page. And you guys, all we did was the 6 list. We did our 6 list every single day, and I might throw up a challenge like go live today. And I love doing that. I love getting people outside their comfort zones, because the faster I can get you outside the comfort zone, the faster you'll run. It'll also weed the people out faster too that aren't ready to run, and I'm totally cool with that. It just helps me know where we're at. So we did that challenge group. It was fun, and it really was. I think that some of the biggest challenges is it's people. So I'm like a green blue. So I love the details, but I love people more. I'm really like, my blue side's coming out a lot stronger like lately. And I find that loving people through the journey and realizing that it's not about you. Yes, know your goal, run towards it, but focusing on my team's goals first and foremost. I see some of my girls on right now, like I have their dreams right now, that some of them, we've already talked about them on my dream board over. And that's a Kelsey Thornton tip. When she was running for prez, she had her goals on her dream board, and then she had Post-its of her teams over it. So if you haven't done your dream board parties, get those done, but get your team's dreams on there too, because I'm telling you right now, I can put, and it's just my personality, but I'll put my dreams on the back burner, like my personal dreams on the back burner. Oh, I didn't hit it. That's okay. The car that I want can wait. Or, my hair and my nails, it's okay. I can stretch it out to more like quarterly date. Like that in my head, that's what I can do. But when I can't look at my team's eyes. I can't look in my daughter's eyes and say, oh, sorry, honey, mommy's just tired. Netflix is way more important to me tonight than your ballet lessons that we're fighting for. I mean, if you can say that to your kid, go ahead and like, just leave the Zoom now. Like that takes a lot, guys. I mean, I think just really focusing on the fact that it's for my team, it's for my family, and putting their goals and their dreams before. So really just being in conversation and loving on my team hard, walking them through those moments of freaking out. That's where self-development had to come in hardcore for me, because I had to fill my cup out, because y'all, it was pouring out all day, and I'm okay with that. That's what I'm here for. That's what you should be doing as the leader of your team, as the pace setter. You should be able to be that reserve for them, and help calling them higher and challenging them to dive deeper into their dreams and goals with that too. I think a big thing too was communicating with my family. I know that was a big thing. A lot of people would come to me, and my team would come to me as, I don't want to be on my phone all the time. Okay, well, first of all, would you rather be on your phone for a little bit of time, for like more of a time for 90 days, and then be able to live your life at a crazy level than you ever wanted to? It's like, what does Dave Ramsey say? Live like no one else now, so you can live and give like no one else later. So temporary sacrifice for long-term gain. Now, I'm not saying completely neglect your family. There's still times I was made sure I did not have my phone on me at dinner time. And it might not sound like a lot, but that hour and a half, like I was off my phone. I had my watch on me if there's emergencies, but my leaders I knew enough could step up, or I want them to also be able to, ask our team pages, find the resources that they have, step up as leaders in their own businesses too. But know that my family came first. But you guys, my birthday is on March 31st. My wedding anniversary is on February 28th. Okay, my husband and I straight up had a fight on the morning of February 20th. Sorry, it's end of month. Love you, boo. Like, we'll have dinner this weekend. Like, we did. Like, he knew that. Like, we've done this long. Love you. End of month is our anniversary. Love you. It's for real, but it's end of month. Like, we just had that heart to heart. Now, granted, it was fine. We've been married for 10 years. It's fine. But we had a lot of just being honest with my family, like, this is why we're doing this and this is the expectation. But also my husband coming to me like, hey, I need 30 minutes of you off your phone, undivided attention. We had that communication. I will say we've done a run too when I was working full time. People get me come to me with that a lot too. Last year we went during Dark Horse. I was at conference as like Ruby by the skin of my teeth, and by the end of March I was Diamond. So I've done this both working full time. My husband worked full time, and me. And I think the biggest thing is communication, mindset, do the work, ask God to multiply it by your hands. Love on your team, work through it, but it all comes down to mindset. You guys do your self-development like your job in life depends on it, because it does.
Oh, chills. That was so good. And I love that you brought up the communication part. I think that that's such an important part, especially if you're really planning on, really doing a focused 90 days. Communication's total key. And I remember when I was doing this, like I was working 50 hours a week, commuting 2 hours per day, and then trying to work this business on top of it. So when I was going home, when I came home, it was all work. Like, and me and my husband had this talk. It's like either we stay in the same situation that we are now and we never get to see each other, we're going to stay in this studio forever, or I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to make this happen for us. And it's going to be a little bit harder in the beginning, but it paid off so much more because, just a few months later, we were able to cut down hours and totally see each other more often. So I'm so glad that you brought up the communication part. When they understand, especially with you can bring your kids into this and stuff too, and show them the dream board and have them dream and see what their goals and dreams are. And when you bring everybody into the picture and they understand why you're working so hard and that it's a family effort to better your entire life, it just makes it so much easier. But if there is no communication, it's really hard. So
yeah, I love it. My girls will even say, Mommy, who are we taking Diamond this month? Like, we get that. Like, they look at, my girls are 6, 5, and 2, and a 6-month-old, and we get them involved in that. I think like and I can't remember who. Anything you hear me say is always like borrowed from someone else. This is not like my original stuff for the record, but like someone else is saying it. Having your child dream with you, getting them in on it. They're seeing you live that. They're seeing that work ethic. So no longer is Mommy going to the salon anymore. Like, we even drove by and I didn't even realize they're listening. Like, that's where you used to work. But now you help bring mommies home. I was like, oh, they like get what I do. Like, oh my gosh, they're listening. So anyway.
That is so awesome. And I love that you focus on your team's goals because, I feel like in the beginning, we all start this business for our own selfish reasons, but right. We want to be successful. There's debt we want to pay off. There's things that we want to do. But I love that quote, and I'm totally going to misquote it. But when you help more people get what they want out of life, you in return end up getting all the things that you want. So I'm sure like there's so many goals where you were focusing on your team's goals, but in return, you ended up marking so many things off your dream board for helping them. And that's why I'm so in love with this kind of business, is because the more we help our team out and help them achieve their goals, like we in turn get everything that we want to, which is so awesome. So do you have any last tip that you want to throw in before we jump over to Amanda?
I don't think I have anything beyond. I want you guys to get some serious affirmations tonight. I have some strong I am, like throw hope out the window, throw shooting, all those things I keep seeing over here. I want you to get so rock solid in it that when you go to bed tonight, you wake up in the morning, you just know you're waking up a presidential ambassador, Black Diamond, whatever you want to be. I want to hear it. So make sure you send it to your upline tonight.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Emily, thank you so much for hopping on and sharing your story. Oh, it was so stinking good. So thank you. Amanda, where are you at, girl? Like, I'm so pumped to hear your story too. This girl is a freaking firecracker. If you've not been on her Zooms, they're so amazing. And I'm just so pumped for you to share your journey with this business, because I know every single 90-day run that you've done, you've promoted, you've earned crazy bonuses, and I'd love for you to just share your story. And then what made you get to the point in your business where you decided to take this time out, this time of year, and really just go for it?
Okay, so my husband's here. He's taking notes. He's always by my side since day one with this business, y'all. He's one of the reasons why I am where I am. But I'm Amanda Gully. I've been in the business for, Emily says hi, for 4 years. And I'm going to kind of go really fast because there's some things that you prompted and M prompted that I kind of want to touch on a little bit. But I was that mom that we had a great marriage, but it was strained because of finances. Put a 1 in the comments if you're there or you have been there. Money is the root of all evil. That is why it is talked about in the Bible so much. Having it is not a problem. It is what you do with it, or sometimes the lack thereof. And I was that mom scrolling on Instagram, and I saw this girl. She had the wrap. She'd been following me. I was like, why is this girl following me? I wasn't an Instagrammer, which tells me this was God, because I never got on Instagram ever. And she had the wrap. I had tried the wrap 2 years before. I knew that it worked. I lost 3 inches in 3 days. And I just said, I was 40 pounds overweight because I had had a baby 7 months before. The weight was not coming off. I was poor, fat, depressed, and anxious. Well, if I'm going to be all these things, I'm going to try and get skinnier at least. So I sold something in my house. That is how desperate I was to look better, because we were having garage sales frequently to make ends meet. We were selling things on Craigslist and OfferUp. My husband had a great job, but we had debt. Our children were born 5 weeks premature, so we had medical debt. I have put a 2 in the comments if you've ever been a mom that just kind of lost your identity in motherhood, that maybe had some postpartum, all those things, those start to really become a burden. And I have lived with, and I say lived with because I am not, what is the phrase people use? Surviving, whatever. I live with anxiety and depression. I live with it. It does not dominate my life. I have learned the tools to live with it. It does not, I repeat, dominate me. So please know that if you are someone, and I want you to be really vulnerable real quick, put a 5 in the comments if you're someone that struggles with anxiety and depression. I also have epilepsy. So, okay, so you are not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone. I needed this business, but I didn't know that I needed it. And I was praying for financial provision. I did not want to do network marketing because I'd done it before. I didn't want to do it again. But that wrap showed me something. I remembered it 2 years later. So I bought the wrap, it worked again. And then I started researching the company on my own doing, because the girl that I bought it from never presented the opportunity to me ever. Okay. I was too poor to be an LC, but I was never presented with the opportunity, but it gained my curiosity. So I found a video Tiffany Herr did. And I was like, she is feisty and she is a mamma jamma. If she could do it, I could do it. And she was talking about being diamond and making this money. And she was doing a video from her car. I will never forget thinking, she reminds me of me when I was alive. Okay. Because I was kind of numb at this point. Then I tell everyone this, talk about all the things that It Works does, that gives back, the foundation of being a Christian company, the ways we make money. Talk about all the things at all different times, because the thing that made me say yes and reach out to the person who I got the rep from, because I didn't know any other rep, was Cindy Pentecost. I looked up the video from conference from that year, and it was the Thursday night, and she said, we are about to have an optional night of worship if you would like to stay. And I was like, I'm in. Messaged that girl, signed up, didn't have the money, stole my mom's credit card information, signed up, paid my mom back a week later. That month, in 3 weeks, I don't know what happened, you guys, but it turned on, because I knew that was an answer to prayer, especially after knowing the ways that I make money. I knew that I could sign customers and distributors. That made me money. 1 distributor, 2 customers, that's $100 bonus. That's all I knew, y'all. I didn't know about percentages and all that crap. I just knew the main ways. And in 17 days, I was built for Ruby. And I went Ruby in 2 months by myself. So if you're in that boat right now where you're like, man, I just don't have anyone working, yada, 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 you can do that crap yourself. You can find it. I made those sacrifices. I sat down, just like Emily was saying. I sat down with Adam, and this was 30 days into the biz. I'm going to make us money. Because when my upline asked me, how much do you want to make? And I was like, all of it. I was done being desperate. I was done having garage sales to pay for my baby's diapers. I was done. I was done getting a scholarship for my son to go to Mother's Day out for 2 freaking days a week. And it only cost $135 a month. Y'all, I was done with that. That's not how I grew up. That's not how I wanted to live, because I was capable. But the sacrifice I didn't want to make was I didn't want someone else raising my kids while I went and worked 40 hours a week to only bring home about $600 a month. That wasn't worth it to me. So I joined and I just kept going. I made the sacrifices. I remember going and doing kind of like a host to post type thing in Starbucks 4 years ago for 3 hours. And that night I got somebody to $400. I just did it. So when everybody is telling you to decide, you decide. So 60 days I went Ruby. And then I just kept recruiting and I wasn't Emerald and I was signing distributors and I wasn't Emerald. I have never made less than $1,000 a month since my first month. That's not commissions now. Commissions is different. Fast starts is what put me over the edge. So went to my first conference. Well, Amanda, how did you get there? Yes, I was still broke because every dime went to provide I cannot speak English. I do speak English, but it's apparently hard. I got that $500 Ruby bonus and they told me you have to get to conference. Well, when someone who makes $20,000 a month tells me what I need to do, I'm going to do it because she's where I want to be. So $500 Ruby bonus. I bought my plane ticket, bought my conference ticket. I won an incentive from her that she would take care of my conference room if I won it. Won that sucker. I did what I have to do. I got to conference. Emerald bonus was announced. I went Emerald that month and I went Diamond, got the $20,000 bonus on March 31st. Happy birthday. Because my birthday is April 1st. That was the best birthday present I've ever gotten. Fast forward a year, I went back, and those 90 days, the very beginning of the month, they're crucial, you guys. They are so crucial to your business. Crucial. I went double diamond. Adam went diamond, $40,000 in bonuses in 30 days. Then I sat at diamond for a year because God had other plans. Sometimes, you know how Cindy says you pray people in, you pray people out of your business. Well, that had to happen with mine. And that's okay because I was that black horse, dark horse, black horse, whatever. And then I promoted to triple diamond in February of this year. It's deciding, it's mindset. If people don't want to come with you, that's okay. Everyone's at different paces. But I wanted to tie in what Emily said. If you want to go on this run, you have to share your dreams with your family. One of the biggest things, and I'm so glad Emily touched on this, our kids are invested in our business just like we are. 100%. If I say mommy has a meeting and maybe I've been in meetings all day, they're like, it's okay because we are going to go to Harry Potter World. They have a dream. They have a dream. We want a new house. We're going to get a new house. They're excited about that. So let me tell you something. If you're a parent, put a 2 in the comments. I want to see what people say. If you haven't gotten your kids involved with dreaming with you, you need to do that now. Because your family, I promise you this, can make or break you. Most women quit this business because of a spouse or a family member. You need to get them involved. Y'all, look at this. How many of you who have children, put a 10 in the comments if they are invested and they understand your business. Now, if they're like 6 months old, it's okay. But if they're 2, I'm sorry, but they get it. My son was 2 when we started this. He would shake his greens up and he'd be like, I'm drinking my greens. And we'd advertise that. We do it together. And that's what honestly clicks for a lot of moms of wanting to join this, is they see we do it as a family. Second, communicate with your spouse. Communicate with your spouse. Many spouses are not on board for 2 reasons. One, they don't get it. They don't got a brain cell for it. Remember, they can't open a lot of tabs in their brains like women can. But the second is because you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it. They're waiting for you to take the initiative as I'm going to change our life. If you have been saying that month after month after month after month after month, and you still a distributor, no wonder your husband doesn't support you. You've done nothing with it. Because I promise you, if you connect yourself, if you plug in, if you do personal development, if you're on a Zoom every day or listening to a Zoom every day, you will. But not just that. Faith without works is dead. What did I just say? Faith without works is dead. You have to work your business. Messaging, adding, creating content, personal development, mindset, having Zooms for your team, encouraging your team, shabadaba habada, all of it goes together. But if you are not doing all the things and your spouse still is not supporting you, girl, you better wake up and start working. There's no reason you should still be a distributor 6 months from now if you're doing all the things. Okay? So, what did I just, do you want to say something?
When you're done, you're on fire, girl. I'm stopping you.
So, talk to your family. Have your children get involved in this. Set goals with your husband. Have him set goals with you. Not just you for yourself, you both for your family. And then there's something else that I want to just touch on. I can't remember what it was. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, yes. Okay, so I wanted to be a top earner from the day I started. My mentor, when I started, was a presidential diamond. Now she's ambassador. I was her triple for ambassador, and that was one of my dreams, and that's just, it's precious. But if you want to be there, you have to surround yourself with them. I made sure people knew me. I got to events, and I went up to Aaron Tweed and introduced myself. I wanted to know them. And then Adam went to the men's retreat and got to know Kyle. Aaron and Kyle are friends of ours. Who else? Rachel and Zach Jones. These are people, they were where I wanted to be. But they're the kind of people that I want to be like. They're the kind of leaders that I want to be like. So I want you to look at yourself and look at who surrounds you. Because it is, honest to God, it's the truth, even not in business. When I was struggling with anxiety and depression for so long, do you know who my friends were? Sad, pathetic people just like me. And I went to a psychiatric clinic for 21 days. Talk about girl interrupted. It was the hardest 21 days of my life, but I got help. And after I left there, I knew I needed new friends, and I started over. I went to a church because I wanted to get my life straight with the Lord too, because I had been so numb for so long. I went to a church by myself. No one talked to me the first week. You're going to join this business. You're going to have people that join this business. They're going to think no one's going to talk to them, and people are going to say no. We'll try again, because the second week I went to church by myself, I found my core group. All of them were in my wedding. They changed my life. I had to get new people. So some of you may have to get some new people, and that's okay. Because others are going to rise up. Life happens to people. And one of my best friends in this business, just in life, she's on here, Brianna. She has taught me a lot about being a good leader, but also being a good friend, because she's been through 3 years of life and this business with me. And let me tell you, as a red, I haven't been the best leader and I haven't been the best friend, because I didn't know how to do the two together. But thank God for her and other women like her, is she gave me grace and forgiveness, and she's allowed me to learn. So me being a red, if any of you are red, hi girl, know that we have to learn what people, breed, stop, she's texting me. She's a strong woman, y'all. I'm proud of her. We have to know what people are going through. When they stop working, it doesn't mean that they're maybe burnt out or anything. What's going on in their life? So leaders are readers, but leaders are learners of our team. Learn what's going on in their life and meet them where they are. Because sometimes when we don't, especially us reds, we can burn some bridges without meaning to. And then we bulldoze over some amazing, amazing women. And maybe they were this close to their breakthrough in their purpose, and our words maybe not meaning to hurt them do, and it makes them crash down again. So know who you're talking to, know your team, understand your team, because they may need some time, just like Emily did. And then she came back and she went triple diamond. And look at her now. She's this amazing woman, mother, wife, all the things. So that's what I got so far. Sorry, I just rambled.
So good. Oh my gosh. I am loving this Zoom. Are you guys obsessed with this? Okay, so I'm so glad that you brought up the whole loving your team where they're at, because I feel like that's such an important thing. I mean, especially on this run or anytime people join your business, like you want things for them, you want to help them, and you want to guide them, you want to push them as far as they can, but sometimes people just aren't ready, or it's just not their time. And so don't just count them out and throw them to the side. Love everybody where they're at, but during this run, you run with the runners. You love everybody where you're at, you help everybody at, but run with your runners. And so I'm so glad you had so many nuggets. I can't even touch on all of them, but did your hubby want to add anything on before we jump over to?
I want to add one more thing too, real quick.
Go.
Okay, just real quick, because I don't think I wrapped this part up.
Okay.
Reach out to a top leader. Do not be afraid to go up and introduce yourself, because you guys, I was a Ruby rubbing shoulders with presidentials and ambassadors, and they never made me feel less. The good leaders won't. They're going to encourage you, and they're going to water you, because they know that that's what they did to get to where they are. So rub shoulders, reach out to them, ask them to do a Zoom. I don't care if you're a Ruby. Have that confidence, because they're going to look at you and go, wow, you really want to go someplace. So I just had to throw that out there. Okay, hubby.
What's up, everybody? I've always got something to say. So I just want to come to you and just say, don't be afraid. Here's one thing that I think that some people struggle with is some people may struggle with the fear of failure, but I think a lot more people maybe struggle with the thought of success. Drop a 3 in the comments if you are afraid of being successful and what people will think of your success. I want to set some people free, because I don't know, some of you may have grown up in a religious home, in a Christian home, and I did, and I loved growing up in a Christian home. But there's this thing that sometimes you can feel bad about making money. And I just want to set you free from that right now. The Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. But guess what? Money is a tool. Let's just set this straight. Money is a tool. Money, write this down. Money takes on the character of the one who has it. Money in and of itself is not evil. It takes on the character of the one who has it. And drop a 4 in the comments if you think we need a lot more people of good character making a lot of money, like Mark and Cindy Pentecost. Come on, y'all. And let me just say this. If you want to go in the Bible, go to Luke chapter 8 and read about Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Susanna. You know what it says about them? These are 3 women that if not for them, the 12 disciples and Jesus wouldn't have had a ministry that was financially supported. It says they supported them out of their own means. That means these women were boss ladies, making their own money and supporting Jesus's ministry. Come on, somebody. You want to be set free from the fear of success? Come on, y'all. There's a lot of good things that need to happen in this world, and we need good people with good character making great money to do that. So I want you guys to, in 2020, I'm serious. I want you to set that fear of success. I want you to kick it somewhere where you never see it again. I want you to move forward. I want that personal development that's going to help develop your character. When you start making all that money, you're going to start making amazing decisions with that money. You're going to start giving back more. You're going to figure out that the more you give, the more blessed you are. And the more God is just going to open up the heavens and pour even more out on you and your family, because he says, hey, these people get it. These people understand what it means to give and to serve. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to empower them to give more and to serve more. All right? We need more of those people. So it's Luke chapter 8. Somebody asked where in Luke. Luke chapter 8, it's like the first few verses. It's going to blow your mind. People read over this stuff, but guys, it's right there. It's right there. Be set free in 2020 from the fear of success and what other people will think. They do not pay your bills. They do not know what God has planned for you to do with that money and all that free time that you're going to get when you're able to travel and you're able to bless people along the way. Guys, the things that we've been able to do together in this business, just in giving back, has been unbelievable. And we know that 2020 has so much more. I'm so glad that Mark and Cindy Pentecost have come up with that word more for 2020. That's exactly what we want. We want more blessings for our team. We want to serve them more. We want to give back more. Guys, this year is going to change so many people in our team's life, and it's going to change your life, and it's going to change everyone on your team's life. If you don't have a team yet, the people coming into your team are going to be changed, because you will not be the same. You will not be the same. And if you are not going to conference, you need to change that right now. Right now. You need to do something. If you get Christmas money, if you get whatever, you need to get a ticket and you need to be there. If you are committed, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, if 2019 kicked your butt, then that is all the excuse you need to get to conference. Because things change when you go to events. It just does. Get there. Get there. I don't care if you have to room with 50 people in one room. We've done it.
We
get there.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that was so good. And I'm so glad you guys brought up conference too, because it goes right along with what you were saying, Amanda, where, your circle means everything. It determines your success. It determines your failure. It determines if you stay where you are or if you decide to level up this year. And just going to conference and being surrounded with all of these like-minded people that are passionate and goal-oriented and want to change their lives and are willing to do the things necessary to push themselves into the next level. Conferences where you're going to meet some of your best friends and just see our amazing culture and understand how incredible and different our company is and how amazing Mark and Cindy are. And it's just going to give you this newfound passion and confidence in not only the business, the products, our CEO, the industry, but in yourself. So you need to get to conference. It is just such a game changer. So, oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much for coming on. That was so awesome. So Sabrina, where are you at, girl? I'm so pumped to hear Sabrina's story. You guys, she went from a ruby to triple diamond. And I have not heard your story before, but I am so pumped to hear it. So Sabrina, share a little bit about your story and, talk about how the heck did you do this and what was your mindset like during this crazy jump?
Thank you very much. So, I'll start with my story. So my story starts a little bit before I started It Works. When my son, when I got back to work after my first mat leave, I was crying every single morning when I was driving my son at daycare. Sorry. So I was so crying. I wasn't a nappy mom. I was working like 60 hours a week, and that was a small week, honestly. And I wasn't happy that way at all. But I was taught to go to school and go to work to 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, So that was just the things to do. And me and my husband had the big bills and debts, and it wasn't an option to just stay at home. So I just had to go to work, sorry. So 2.5 years ago, I saw a post on Facebook of before and after was about the wraps. So I text that girl and I told her, I need to lose weight. Is this for this? So she told me no, but I have the triple threat that would be perfect for you. I had no idea what it was, but I just told her, okay, I need this. So I started with the triple threat as a customer, and I didn't jump on the scale. Sorry, my dog. I didn't go on the scale before 2.5 months. So after 2.5 months, I jumped on the scale and realized I lose 28 pounds. So I called my mom. I just told her, this is amazing. So she told me, okay, I want some too. And I called a friend of mine and I told her, oh my God, these products are amazing. So she told me, okay, I want some too. And now I was just like, okay, I'm making that girl make money. I want to do that. So I texted her back and I told her, girl, I just lost 28 pounds, but are you really making money with this? And she told me yes. So I signed that night. Um, the thing I didn't knew is I was her first distributor. So she didn't have a clue to how to start me or how to teach me how to work this out. So, but I knew three things: what a customer needs to lose weight, how to sign a customer, and how to sign a distributor, because I did it for me on my own. So I just started to talk to everybody and sign everybody right under me. So yeah, in 2 weeks, I signed 12 customer and 2 distributors. So in my first month, I was an executive, and but I sat there for like 5 months. After 5 months, I got my Ruby. But at that time, I was okay with that. I honestly, I started that business just to pay my product, and it was overpaying my product. So everything was just fine. Last year, well, yeah, at that time, more than 2 years ago, I find out I was pregnant for my daughter. So the second I was pregnant, I was already stressing out to going back to work after her mat leave. So I just continued to work, and I was pregnant. My due date, I was working a 16-hour shift. So that was honestly incredible. So last September, September 2018, I called my upline, my leader, and I told her, I think I'm going with you to conference this year. And she told me, you have to come. I built my diamond 4 times, and I was so close the 4 times, but just didn't happen. And yeah, so when I told her I was going to conference with her, she was so happy. So last year I got to conference as a Ruby, and 90 days after I was hitting my triple diamond. At conference, like, I called my husband and I just told him I'm not going back to work next week, because I was supposed to go back to work after my mat leave for my daughter the week after conference. And I just told him I am not going back to work. And I just, like, in 3 words, explain him to, like, how I was going to make this finally happen for us. And he told me, I know you can, and just do it. Let's do this. So in February, I got my diamond and his diamond. In March, I got my double diamond. And April, I got my triple diamond and his double diamond. So yeah, in 90 days after conference, we got, as a family, $14,000 increase of our paycheck.
What? Are you guys hearing this? Like, this is just so crazy. Like, that is just so mind-blowing. So, like, walk us through, like, you were happy and content at Ruby, and then you found out that you were pregnant, and you just made the decision. But, like, what did your days look like from going from Ruby to triple diamond? Like, what did that look like? What did your days consist of? And, like, why were you so focused? I mean, obviously because you're having your daughter, but talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so right after conference, when I got back home, my daughter was sick. So I got to hospital for a week with her, but I was always texting my husband, like, I know I'm at the hospital with her, but we still need this, yeah, right? So right after conference, when I got back home, I started to text every single person on my team and ask them, what's your goal, and are you up to success for this year? Like, I need people in my team. I want people on my team that go Ruby, Emerald, or Diamond. What do you want for now? So I looked with everybody. Like, of course, some of them just told me, no, I'm It's not for me anymore. And that's okay. Like, I'm used to this because, like I said, I built my diamond 4 times and didn't happen. So, but at that time, I was so pumped that so many old distributor that wasn't doing anything for like months just told me, okay, I'm with you on this and we'll make this happen. So, yeah, so like I said, everybody told me, okay, I want to be a diamond, I want to be a ruby, I want to be an emerald. So I'm super, super red, but I'm super, super green too. And I always, every beginning of the month, I do provisions. So I told everybody that was telling me I want to rank up. I told them, okay, you need like 1,000 BV, or you need like, I don't know, 200 BVs a week from now to have your ruby, or and yeah, that worked just so much. And I was so much focusing on their goals and their promotion, and it gives me my success, my promotions. Sorry. So yeah, I do my business like 95% of host to post. I'm like, our team are beasts at host to post. Like, we do so many host to post on a day, on a week, on a month. And somebody that's telling me, well, host to post not working for me, well, do more, because it's working. I tell you, it is working. Yeah, we like at conference, I right under 2,000 BVs, and in 90 days we got to almost 40,000. So host to post is working.
That is so cool. And you know what I love that you brought up is, you were a ruby at this time, where you dug in, you reached down to your team, you checked in with them to see who was wanting to roll. Like, you weren't waiting for your leader to do these things for you. Like, you took the reins as a ruby leader. Like, the minute you guys sign up and you have a distributor underneath you, you are a leader. And I love that you took the reins and you checked in with your team. You're like, you game planned with them. You let them know where their chart is. You asked them what their goals were. You showed it breaking down like what they needed to get there. And you just brought everybody together to show them a common goal and help everybody reach it. And you guys just ran and did host to post like crazy. That is so incredible. So how has your life changed, real quick before we jump over to Natasha? Like, how has this business just changed your life? And was putting the hard work in for those 90 days, like, was it worth it?
Oh, yes, it was. In 6 months, we paid over $40,000 of debt. And I'm now a stay-at-home mom. I live day by day with my son and my daughter. Now my son is at school, but he doesn't have to go at the daycare school or whatever. Every morning I go and let him at school, and right after school I pick him up. Honestly, and as a couple, like, struggling for money and me not being happy where I was, not being happy as a mother, like, was really, really hard on us. And yeah, like, honestly, this is the best life I could ever imagine. And my kids, like, I always wanted to be that yes mom that doesn't have to say no, and I made it happen. Like, I'm now that mom I always wanted to be.
Oh, I just love that. You guys, this Zoom is just so amazing. Oh my gosh, Sabrina, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm just blown away. That was incredible. Okay, Natasha, I know we're running over on this Zoom, but Natasha, I'm so pumped to hear your story, because she's another one that it's just mind-blowing to hear these crazy stories of people going from distributor to triple diamond in such a short period of time. Like, it just blows my mind. But it's proof, you guys, that anything that you put your mind to, if you're willing to put the work behind it to back that and make some short-term sacrifices for the future that you want, it is 100% worth it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you. You're not going to hit, like not going to come across struggles or bumps in the road. Like, know it, expect it, but learn to push through it. And so many things in your life and your business can change. So Natasha, oh my gosh, girl, I'd love to hear your story. And, what made you go from, I think you said you were a distributor in December, and then by April or something crazy like that, you were triple diamond. So
yes. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm so excited. Okay. So I like to talk, so I'm gonna make this I'll talk really fast. So my story, I joined May 2015, went Ruben a couple of months, and then like did nothing with the business, like nothing. I had like every excuse in the book. Like I would even tell my upline, like, oh, my phone's on in the toilet because I didn't want to answer her call, and I'm sure she caught on after. But, and so I did nothing with the business. And my husband was a non-supportive husband. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have some, your guys' other half is not supportive. And 2016 came. I don't know if you guys were in the business in 2016, but there was like an emerald bonus. It was like a double emerald bonus, double diamond bonus. And then there was like all these like crazy just double bonuses. And yes, Santa girl tattoos. And so January, my upline came and she was like, where do you see yourself? She came to Maui and she was like, where do you guys see yourselves? And then my upline was like, oh, I see myself as a diamond. And I'm like, oh, me too, when really my heart was like set at a double diamond, but I didn't want to go like above my upline. So I was like, oh, diamond. And she's like, no, what do you really want to be? And I'm like, a double. And so I told my husband, I'm like, all I need from you is to just not talk bad about the business. Like, I don't care if you don't like it, like just be quiet and see what happens. So I kind of wrote some numbers. So December, I was paid as a distributor, $120. January, I was a ruby at $208. February, we went double diamond. I went from a ruby to a double diamond. He went from a distributor to a diamond. My sister went from a distributor to an emerald. And my February paycheck as a double diamond was $4,800. So from a $200 paycheck to a $4,800 paycheck. March, he went double diamond. My paycheck was $7,000. April, I went triple diamond 11 months into my business, and my paycheck was $11,000. And then May was $13,000, and we earned over $100,000 in bonuses. And yeah, that means, by just me going triple, that means that I had doubles on my team. I had people going diamond. Like, I had somebody who went ruby and like thanked me for her $400 paycheck. Like, it's crazy because like, like me, like so excited about my $13,000 paycheck when like my team, what this girl was like, I was crying at the cashier because like I could finally buy chips, like things that like my kids wanted. Like I could buy cookies, I could buy, that's thing that like I take for granted. And I'm like, holy crap, like that's like I am changing lives. And she's like, I stood there and I cried, and my son was like, why are you crying, mom? And it was just like how much lives you change, like not only yours, like you guys change so much people's lives. But so that's my story, and I'm here, still here. I make 5 months in May of 2020. I'm super excited. Sorry, I have like ADD, so I can't like read the chat and then like tell you guys before like I start talking. Okay, so okay, so I want to talk about this and some obstacles that I've overcome. Maybe like I didn't have anybody like leave me or whatever, but they're like really big obstacles that I sometimes I felt like a crap mom. I don't know if some of you guys feel like that when you guys are always on your phone and you don't have time for your kids, and all these things. And like I was like glued to my phone. I'm talking like I was like getting like, I was messaging crazy. I was talking to so much people. I like did not sleep in those 28 days. Like, but I knew in my heart that if I worked and I sacrificed family time, date nights, birthdays, Valentine's Day, all these things, that I can live my life when everybody's still working. You know what I mean? And so I sacrificed a lot of family time. I mean, like, I even had a hat. Like, I don't do it anymore because my kids are older, but I used to have this hat that I used to wear. And every time I had the hat on, my kids knew not to talk to me because I was working. You know, so I'd be on my computer in my hat, and then, you know, I can see them standing there. So then I'll take off my hat and then they'll talk to me. Or like sometimes they'll catch me on my computer and then like I wouldn't have the hat on. My son will be like, Mom, you don't have your hat on. I'm like, you're right. Like, you know, and so I always, like, I try to like remind my kids, like, if you guys let mommy work, like, I can take you guys, we can go do, like, you know, to Disney and all these things. And like, even though like I would see my kids, like, I always cry. I don't know why. Gosh, like this. The sacrifices that I made during that time, like from February to April, like I felt so crappy as a mom. And people would be like, oh, you didn't spend time with your kids and blah, blah, blah. But like now like I get to do whatever I want. Like, me and my kids want to jump on a plane tomorrow, we're jumping on a plane, you know. And that's the thing, is like the sacrifice that I made before, like, definitely pays off now. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I mean, everybody's sacrifice is different. And I'm not saying like go and ignore your guys' kids and be on your guys' phone, you know, for like 23 hours of the day. But that was what I sacrificed. And that now we get to do whatever, whenever we want. Like, it's definitely, it was worth it. Definitely.
I'm glad
Sorry.
you really brought up the whole sacrifice part, because, you know, a lot of the times we see all these amazing success stories. You know, we see all these amazing things that, you know, people are able to do because of this business, and, you know, people rising to success super fast, or being able to pay off debt super quick. Like, if you think of like the Mayfields and how they paid off debt really quick and everything. But I love how transparent you are with the sacrifices you made, and just thinking of, you know, the Mayfields too, how transparent they are. Like, they made some major sacrifices to get to where they were. It wasn't easy. They had to give up date nights, give up all those things, give up time with their kids. But because of all that kind of thing, and because of what you did for you and your family, you're now there like 100% of the time. And you're not in the back of your mind worrying about how you're going to put food on the table or how you're going to take care of your kids. Like, you are there and you are present and you are able to provide for them all at the same time. And I just think that, you know, I want you guys to listen to all these amazing success stories and hear what's possible in a 90-day challenge, but understand that great things come with sacrifice. And I hate even that word sacrifice, because I feel like it's such an investment into your guys' future, into your future, to have more time with your kids. Like, you can either go to work, you know, work a 9-to-5 job and spend all that time away from your kids, or put in a ton of work in a short amount of time and be able to never have to go back to that 9-to-5 job again. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. Is there anything else? I know you got some notes in front of you, so what else do you want to go over?
No, I mean, that's, you know, that's kind of it. But like I said, everyone's sacrifice is different, and that's what I did. I mean, it was so bad. Like, I told this to my team before, but when I was promoting, like, I didn't even wash clothes. My poor husband, like, I was like, he's like, "Hun, where's the towels?" And I'm like, "We have none." Like, you gotta go to Walmart and go buy some because I am busy. You know, I would, like, my poor kids, like, they were so awesome. Like, they're like microwaving their own food, you know, and I'm like, I promise, like, all this work that mommy's doing is like, it's gonna pay off. And, you know, I honestly secretly feel my husband's outside, but I feel that he's a tattoo artist and he used to work in a shop. And when I went Double Diamond, he left that shop and he ventured on his own. he won't admit it, but I know it's because of this business that he got to do that. And we've been a traveling family ever since 2016 for his tattoo. And then we opened up a shop. And so I know that the sacrifice for me, even though I feel guilty, it was something that definitely changed our life. And then I also, real quick before I leave, touch on Amanda, what she said. She said, love your team where they're at. I like, this is huge. Like, I am red and I'm like, why are you not working how I'm working? Why are you not doing what I do? You know? And I think my double diamonds on here, Camille, but she, you know, I called her one day crying and I'm like, you know, why can't people just work like us? And she's like, you know, you just gotta, she basically said, you gotta love them where they're at and find people who want to run. And so what I'm trying to get to is that you guys are going into like the biggest run of your guys' business. I don't even know how to, like, you might not even have time to shower, you know, in January through March, but that's okay. But just link arms with the people that want to run and run. You started this business by yourself. So you guys cannot complain now, oh, well, everybody on my team is not working. You once started by yourself. You guys can do it again. And yeah, and I praying for all of you guys in 2020.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. And I love that you guys brought that up. Like, this is the second time this has really been brought up because, you know, definitely love your team where you're at, but don't let the people on your team that aren't willing to put in the work, that aren't willing to do the run, hold you back from your goals. Right? Like, don't let them hold you back from where you want to go. You will find with your passion and your excitement and your like putting that vision of where you're going and blasting your goals out everywhere and showing people want to follow people that know where they're going, that have goals. And so you're going to start attracting all of those people to your business. So I'm just so glad. This Zoom was insane, you guys. Like, raise your hand if you learned something from the Zoom, because I'm just so fired up about this. This is amazing. We're going to do part 2, you guys, on next Sunday before the family call. I cannot talk. I'm so pumped up. I can't even talk. But before the family call on Sunday, so far I have so many people next week. I forget who's next week. I know Claire Flores is going to be on next week, and a ton of other amazing leaders. And I'm just so pumped. So you guys, I just want to thank Emily, Amanda, Sabrina, and Natasha for sharing your stories. Like, I'm just blown away and so fired up. And I hope you guys listening, like, this just instills that belief in you that you are capable of doing amazing, insanely crazy things. So dream big and be willing to put the work behind it, and your life can change so much in 2020. So I hope you guys are all ready to level up, because 2020 is going to be such an insane year, you guys. So have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday for part 2 of this Leveling Up Zoom. See you guys.